What's up guys, it's Greeny here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video guys, you're getting insight into GTG, Greeny's trading group. It's my trading group where I spend every single minute of every single day trading meme coins, educating, looking for futures, leverage trades, and spending time with a community of over 350 members who trade crypto, meme coins, DeFi, altcoins, you name it, we've got it. NFTs, ordinals, runes, we've got it all in GTG, Greeny's trading group. So this is just a live stream that we do. We run multiple live streams every single week to help you become a better trader, as well as providing you with alpha and analysis every single day in the cryptocurrency space. So if you are keen to join it, I have decided to release a YouTube only discount for the subscription over every single month. Sign up using the whop.com link at the top of the description below. And obviously, I really do hope you learn a thing in this particular live stream as well. Essentially, what we dived into was macro analysis, where we currently are as of October 21. We are maybe starting to make a higher high outside of the consolidation phase that we have been in for over 7 months. So I am extremely bullish if we do break and close a weekly candle here above this previous area, which I do discuss deeply in the video. And then we touch on meme coins, some of the positions that we're currently in, and then obviously how I like to trade meme coins outside of the trenches, because only 1.5% of meme coins graduate from pump.fun. So how can you become a better trader, and how can you trade consistently to make sure that you're winning and growing your portfolio whilst trading some of the most lucrative markets in the world? So I really hope you do enjoy this video, and don't forget, smash the subscribe button, smash the like button. It really does help the channel grow, and I much appreciate it. And lastly, guys, I will be creating a lot more YouTube videos very soon. I have returned to Australia after traveling for 8 months in Africa and Europe. So there are a lot more YouTube videos coming your way very soon. I hope you enjoy this GTG live stream. Cheers. Alrighty guys, welcome back to another GTG live stream. So today's focus is obviously just going to be a market update. We'll be looking at meme coins. We'll be looking at macro as well, because a lot of altcoins have started to rally, which is fantastic. So we definitely will be sort of speaking about the importance of that in the scheme of things moving forward, because we have obviously consolidated, and I've got the total crypto market cap chart up right now, so you can have a look at that. But we've basically consolidated since the end of February, start of March. So that was what do you call that, like 7 to 8 months nearly of consolidation, and for the first time we are about to see a possible weekly close outside this range. Now, as you can see here, we have wicked previously above this area. But right now we haven't actually had a close in this vicinity since we obviously started this trend. So for me, this is very bullish, guys, if we obviously do see this. Now, again, like I've said, like this is a good time to consolidate, but what I want to see now is sort of just a healthy price action. So nothing just spiking up and going crazy, like really like aggressive. I want to see healthy move up, consolidate, move up, consolidate, move like this. So I'll draw it for you. So essentially, I want to see that move up, consolidate like this, and move up, consolidate like this, and eventually that's way more healthy, But knowing crypto, knowing what I've seen in the past, what we do see sort of from this time period until the all-time highs is just pretty crazy price action. So for any reference, what we kind of have gone through is this consolidation phase here. Now, the big difference, and as you can see, this is last cycles, this is all total crypto market cap. So the big difference here is that this consolidation sideways here was below previous all-time highs, whereas this cycle, it's obviously been at or just below all-time highs. So this is on total, and Bitcoin's pretty much the same as this chart too. Like we made new all-time highs on Bitcoin specifically. We obviously hadn't made new total crypto market cap all-time highs, so that's actually really good to see. But I would expect that to probably start to kick off very soon. But what I mean here is, like, if you do look at the time of consolidation here, like we consolidated for 112 days there, before we did start to take off to the races. Again, once we did start to reach all-time highs, so here, we wicked above, and then we consolidated again for a couple, maybe a month and a half there before we did continue on very much higher. So for me, this is very bullish, right? Because we were extremely aggressive in our approach from, pre-halving, let's call it, because of the institutional demand. Now, I had a look actually on the ETFs. They've done over 21 billion. I think it was about 20 to 21 billion in positive inflows for Bitcoin since it started earlier this year. So for me, that's that's why you don't want to not hold a bit of Bitcoin. And I'll take that one step further, okay? And again, we're going to talk about portfolio management on Wednesday. I think that's a very important live stream that a lot of people will take away a significant amount of information, because a lot of people don't know how to manage a portfolio consistently, and they often either round trip their bags or they find themselves losing a massive percentage of their bags to meme coins, those types of things. So we'll dive in deep into portfolio management on Wednesday, but pretty much this is total crypto market cap looks really good. Bitcoin's breaking higher, and Bitcoin dominance is also still breaking higher. So for me, this is an obvious play, and I don't think Bitcoin's going away, guys. So for me, you want to be holding Bitcoin if you are in the capacity long term, probably through this cycle. Obviously, if you do want to reconsider your liquidity and your portfolio and your asset management and those types of things after this cycle, and if you do need the money in real life, there's no harm in taking profits this cycle and then looking to accumulate again during the next consolidation phase, because it will happen. It just does happen. Nothing can go up forever. And if it does go up forever, then often it dumps, just like Moondeg and just like GOAT. I haven't checked the charts this morning. We'll look at that very shortly. So Bitcoin dominance, this is the one. This is probably the most important chart that I'm looking at right now, because as soon as this starts to roll over, as soon as it does lose this trend moving upwards, so in other words, this is just support. It has broken out of this range that it was in. So essentially how I've drawn that range is from last cycle's resistance or support, sorry. And then since then, we obviously did get rejection here when we retested it in April, but have since moved up. So I would expect maybe a move up towards 60% here, which kind of aligns with previous liquidity price action from last cycle. So for me, this is really interesting. I honestly didn't think I'd see Bitcoin at 60% this time around, but I think it's because of the ETF demand, and people just realize, okay, Bitcoin's probably such a safe hedge to own on government funds, in hedge fund portfolios, okay, Tesla, etc. Companies, they want to have exposure to Bitcoin, and I don't think that changes. If anything, I think that gets more aggressive moving forward. So keep an eye on this chart, because as soon as this does fold over, guys, so in other words, as soon as this does lose support, then that's very good for our altcoin and meme coin backs. Now, ultimately, you can still have really good runs. As we look down here, guys, Ray, for example, is on an absolute tear. It's moving up 12% today. So meme coins and your top altcoins are still probably going to outperform Bitcoin. It's just once it does break that support trend here and go this way, that's when you see just absolutely crazy numbers. So if I think back to last cycle, Binance went on a crazy run. Sand and Decentraland went on a crazy run. A lot of those gaming altcoins went on a crazy run. And I'm talking these are multi-billion-dollar market caps hitting, maybe not multi-billionaire, but hundreds of millions of dollars of market caps. And essentially what they were doing was going 10x in the space of 2 weeks. So that is around the tables. And I suppose that'll happen in meme coins, and probably does happen, as we are seeing, in some of the top altcoins, guys, this cycle. So for me, Radium still probably has a lot of upside. I don't think it makes a new all-time high, because it literally was dropped at the all-time high last cycle. So the 30th of August all the way to the peak was here in November. So I don't think it gets there, but I mean, there's still significant upside. It might see a bit of resistance at 3.7, might see a bit at 4.4, but outside that, we are looking at this sort of breakout trend, I suppose. So same sort of thing. A lot of charts will look the same. They've pumped up into March. They've consolidated for a long period of time. Altcoins like this that have shown a lot of strength, okay, at a support, this is a clear bottom, guys. The clear bottom here, this is when Craig and I spoke about it last year on many streams. Okay, we spoke about it here under 0.2 cents. So we caught this massive run up. We've been holding our bag ever since, and it has consolidated here. As you can see, it's found support at this bottom, and the strength in charts like this, and this is what I want you guys to focus on, is finding charts like this, right? So as you can see, we broke above, okay? We then came back down. So this was resistance. This red line was resistance. We then flipped above it, okay? And we've since held it now for over 6 months. So that is strength there. Okay, it means a bottom is formed, but also it's then holding above previous resistance. So resistance is above this price action here. Okay, and now it is testing this as support. So that shows me a lot of strength in in an altcoin like this, and this is one that I'm happy to hold longer term. Dupe is probably the same, guys. Like as we've seen here. This is why we're in a long for Dupe, because I did think it is going to break out and it looks insane. We'll have a look at our longs very shortly. But this is a consolidation on a new token, which falls under that whole Solana ecosystem. We caught this dip down here, guys. We are currently in those longs, which is fantastic. So I'm very happy holding some of those DCA longs for a very long time, for a couple of weeks for sure. So yeah, we'll have a look at that very shortly. But if you guys did have any questions, please just unmute yourself, interrupt me, or obviously just ask in the chat. More than happy to help you guys out. But yeah, like I said, we've just touched on the macro side. The dollar, it's interesting always to keep an eye on the dollar. The dollar is obviously moving up, but it's not necessarily a defining indicator for me. We looked at liquidity last on Saturday during the live stream as well. That is increasing and coming, and that traditionally helps bull markets go to their peak as well. So things like that, it all comes into it. Like rates coming down is good because people then are happy to spend more because they don't have to allocate more to the cost of living or to rent or to mortgages. So yeah, keeping an eye on all of that stuff and understanding a macro sense is really important when you're trading cryptocurrency. And particularly like even like as much as people don't want to accept it, I can promise you that the macro plays a big part on meme coins as well. So we'll dive into our top plays. So we'll look at Bitcoin first. So Bitcoin again looks very good here, guys. If we get the weekly close in just over an hour, this is a break of trend. Like we have set now 2 higher highs, so 1, 2 high. Would be the 3rd higher high. We have set 1, 2, maybe even a 3rd on the pullback. So what I would like to see, I suppose, maybe a 3rd higher low. So that's great. I kind of would like to see something like this over the coming weeks. That would have me like, yep, bang. Okay, let's absolutely long here. Put stop losses there and take profits up here in the high 80s, I think would be the extension of this. So the move from here, if you watch that Fibbo Swanee video, he uses a lot of fibs as well. I think he's targeting mid to high 80s. So for me, I pretty much target this area as well. So 83.8 to 89 is what I would love to see Bitcoin sort of reach before then maybe consolidating all the way back to this 73.6K region would be a fair move. Like that's still healthy price action. Okay. So like I said before, I want to see healthy price action. So maybe even a grind up. Okay. So maybe sort of like a grind up like this. Okay. Gets up to this level, consolidates, come back, retest, and then goes ballistic again like that. So, and then deeper into 2025. So I suppose this is a bit adjusted for the time, but I want to see something like this, right? Okay, so consolidate, come back down here, retest. Okay, move up here, consolidate below 100, and then continue up into 2025. Something like that obviously would look pretty good to me, and it just would be healthy price action, okay? If we do start to just go like this, okay, I probably take a lot off the tables. The reason for that is like people, like something like this isn't healthy price action, okay? What you want to see is what I just drew before. You want to see up, down, okay, consolidate, or at least pull back to nice areas and then consolidate and move up higher. So again, if we do move up quite aggressively on a lot of these tokens, which I hope we don't, and I don't think we do, then I probably do start to take some profits on my spot bags. So Bitcoin, Solana, those types of things. So for me, the first move, guys, would definitely be towards this mid to high 80 range is where I'd expect this to occur. Then maybe we can reevaluate there. But if we do look at the 2.618, I have to add it in. Okay, there we go. So the 2.618 at 113K from this move. So that's just taking the swing high to the swing low. 114K again is probably a really good target for me, at least off this swing move. And I mean, if we do take a look from the all-time high from last cycle, okay, to the all-time low this cycle, what we see is 91 as a potential area as well, which kind of comes into our thesis around the move here, being around 89 to 100 to 90, sorry. And then here, the 1.618 is at 102. So I do think that we get there, guys, the 6-figure. I don't know if we get to the extension here, guys, at 156,000. Like, I don't know. That's a lot of money. That's basically what's that, 2.2x from where we currently are, 2.1x. That's a lot of money when you think about it. But for Bitcoin to get to 150,000, dominance has to go crazy. Dominance would have to nearly retest these sort of highs from last cycle. So yeah, it always pays to understand what's happening in the macro, even in the trenches, guys. And so many people don't understand that. So that's Bitcoin, very bullish. Again, this is on the weekly. I do like to take a macro perspective and then dive in at other times. This is our long on Ethereum. We timed that very well, guys. It is still, Ethereum obviously shows a lot more weakness compared to Solana and Bitcoin. That's why it was kind of, in my opinion, not oversold, but I just think it probably had more potential to move up. I wasn't convinced Bitcoin on the risk to reward entry on Bitcoin. As you can see here, we are looking at potentially moving up. Well, we have caught this move. Ideally, I want to see ETH go up and test the top of this range. So it still has a long way to go, guys. But for me, once it does retest this, I then would wait to see what happens on Solana and Bitcoin before we do consider seeing if this continues high out of this sort of bull pattern that we've formed here. And the same on Sol, guys. As you can see, Sol is still outperforming. That's why we're in it, guys. That's why it is my biggest bag by far, because it's showing strength. Okay, it shows strength on chain with its analysis, with its statistics, with its DeFi, with its volume, with its liquidity, with its users, with its wallets. Okay, all of that. And then fundamentally, that is backed by people building on there, okay, whether it's meme coins or whether it's actually games and those types of things, or DeFi applications, staking platforms, all of that, right? So you don't want to fade the narrative. Like, go where strength is, okay? And I tweet about this often, and I do try to make sure I include that in the group as well. You want to go where strength is. So for us, Solana has been strong. I suppose you could say there is still a little bit resistance ahead of us here before we do break out. And probably, again, for us to be uber bullish, we need to start setting closures. So candle closures on the weekly and daily, probably above that level at about the 185 mark. So that's why, again, we're in this long. This was a great, as I said, like the apex was getting close. Usually you don't see triangle patterns like this reach the full apex. So we did manage to catch this. It was clearly obvious that everyone wanted to accumulate Solana in this red box zone, because every time we wicked down there, it was just bought up so aggressively. So yeah, I'm glad we're in that long for Solana. And then basically how I then double check the strength of Solana is I'd compare it against BTC. So this is last cycle. If you were all in the group pretty much a year ago when we started, you would have known that we took Radium and Solana as pretty much our big plays. So Craig and I spoke a lot about Radium, but Solana here was outperforming Bitcoin and was going to break out of this long-term trend, right? And the same against Ethereum. We broke out against this long-term trend, and we are about to set, look at this. I haven't even looked at this chart for probably a couple months, but we are about to now go absolutely insane against Ethereum. So again, holding Solana remains the narrative this cycle, guys. And I think, I don't know, like we can have a look at some targets, but yeah, consolidating here. This is a really good consolidation again, like kind of like I showed you before on that Radium chart. We've just been consolidating sideways. So I do expect once Bitcoin dominance starts to go down, I do think that something like this, Solana against Bitcoin, does move up quite aggressively. If we dive a little bit deeper, there is, where's total 3? There it is. So total 3 is altcoins, guys, and meme coins. So this one excludes BTC and Ethereum. It's also breaking out from a bull wedge. So this is, like I said, this is really good for your altcoin and meme coin bags. What I would like to see, obviously, is BTC dominance start to fall over. And then that's maybe where I probably allocate a little bit more of my BTC into probably more risky plays rather than going to spot and just holding Solana or like Radium or something like that. I probably do change it to Solana and then look to level up in meme coin trading, because that's where we've been making profits for a year now in Greeny's group. So it's been such a ride, and it's a pleasure that we can continue to do this. So total 3 looks really good here. I mean, like, this is textbook, guys. Textbook bull wedge, okay? Breakout, retest, okay? Close above last week and then close on. It looks like we nearly will make a high this week too. So, oh man, we're off to the races here, guys. Like, this is the time to seriously lock in over the next 6 to 12 months. So yeah, total 3 looks really good. Solana looks good, really good. Ethereum is lagging behind still, but I'm glad we're in that long. And BTC, I would love to see it sort of make up and then come back and close and then retest here, this sort of bull flag, and then I would probably look to long that. So unfortunately, we aren't in a BTC long. I knew I should have kept, I mean, it accidentally closed this long here. I think it was 59. It was this one here. The 59.1 long that we got into, oh man, it closed when I was traveling. So I'm so annoyed, because that was literally like midpoint of the range and it was gonna, oh well. You can't win them all. Outside that, I am keeping an eye on a few different things. So this is why I still haven't, like, I saw Clemente put a post up about AVAX. He's like, oh, why shouldn't I just put all my money into AVAX or like sell my soul? Well, it's pretty much obvious in this chart, guys. And that's why I tweeted that out. But essentially what you're looking at is a trend of AVAX versus Solana. So in other words, if this goes up, you want to hold more AVAX. If it goes down, you want to hold more Solana. So right now what we're seeing is that Solana has shown strength literally from November 2022. I did think, yep, okay, we're seeing a breakout. So I thought AVAX could go off to the races here. However, it looks like we're folding back over. Maybe we create a double bottom and maybe we do try to attempt a run. But guys, like I said, like AVAX is dominating the development side of crypto. In terms of the gaming devs, in terms of Web2 connections, those types of things. So it does have a place in your spot portfolio. Its price is just lagging so much this cycle. And I mean, like I looked at this chart again on Saturday, it is holding above a very important level at that $23 mark. However, it's not off to the races like Radium, like Solana, like even Bitcoin and ETH. Like even ETH is still outperforming AVAX. So for me, I don't hold any spot ETH. But I do hold a little bit of spot AVAX. I'm glad I de-risked this and allocated more into meme coins and Solana because that has obviously been the move. However, I do think that AVAX does go quite crazy. I do think it gets to 100 at least this cycle, guys. I don't know if it sets a new all-time high. We'll have to wait and see. So AVAX for me holds a very small portion of my portfolio. We looked at Radium before. We looked at Juke before. Casper is one I bought a little bit here at the retest. Which was good. Like shout out to Aussie for pretty much giving us that price action, and it literally did, guys. Like that is just textbook. Come back, retest the liquidity at lower levels, okay. But also this long-term support trend as well. It's bounced off there. This is where I did buy. And DCA'd into some Casper, here. It's just a good sort of hedge against Bitcoin. Again, I'm a Bitcoin bull these days, guys, so I don't think Bitcoin will ever be replaced. But you never know, so you don't want to say ever. If we look at Render, we accumulated this one as well. It hasn't quite broken up what I'd like to see, but it is still nice above this range. It's holding above this support if I was to draw that out a little bit further. So Render is like it dominates in terms of like gaming, rendering, AI, data, all those types of things. I think Render's a no-brainer hold in your altcoin portfolio. And again, just to show you something too, like don't forget the spot channel is there, the spot calls channel. In the group, because it does have all of these information, all of the altcoins that we're looking at, even the meme coins that I'm willing to hold longer term. Obviously, the spreadsheet has more up-to-date information about the specific meme coins that we're holding longer term, but it also, that spot calls channel does have all of the information about the altcoins that I'm more bullish on longer term. So Render is one. Beam, I have de-risked from it more recently, but again, it's looking to move up here as well, so I'm keeping an eye on things like that. I would prefer to hold IMX compared to Beam. Just the chart was stronger against Bitcoin. Sexy alluded to it as well more recently, probably a month ago. And it is breaking out itself against its USD pair. But always, guys, it always pays to look at the IMX, so the altcoin that you're looking at against its BTC chart, because what you want to see, so this has actually curled over. I would have liked to see this continue up. So keep an eye on this. It is still technically a high low with a closure as well. So I'm not too worried about having a bit of IMX exposure. But I suppose this is a very long-term sort of zone, I suppose. Like, when is this? 22. So yeah, like IMX could break out of this as well. It's probably the premier altcoin that is under that gaming sector. So for me, like that was a big thing last cycle. I just don't see it happening this cycle. I think there's too much focus on meme coins, too much focus on AI for games to really shine. So just having a small exposure to something like this is a good play. And I mean, games take a long time to develop, and a lot of people don't remember that too. Sui is definitely one that I'm very happy I accumulated. Shout out to both. I mean, Sexy called this and has had this pretty much in the group since we started, guys. So shout out to Sexy for being convicted here and diving on chain and looking at analysis for a very long time. And shout out to Aussie, because he said that Sui was going to outperform Bitcoin, and it definitely has for a while. And look at this chart, guys. So right now we are like, this is textbook. Like, I mean, you've still got, we're currently retesting that all-time high, right? So we've broken out. We're now retesting. This is off. Sui could easily be one of the top performing altcoins from here to the peak of the cycle. Hold on. I think my voice is here, but my screen's gone. Oh, goodness. Here I was thinking that Oz internet would be good. Let's have a look. Let's see if that's come back. Excuse me. I'll have a little drinks break while that happens. Okay. All right. I think it's back now. Amazing. All right. So pretty much, yeah. So what I was saying is that, yeah, shout out to Aussie and Sexy for showing this. But if we do look at Sui BTC, you'll see that it was showing a lot of strength as well. So if we do come and have a look at this one here, let me just get out of a few things so my internet doesn't die. Like what you're seeing is a massive double bottom play out. We've broken the trend now. We are retesting the bottom of this. So you know what? Like if you aren't in Sui, it's probably not a bad DCA here, guys. So Sui again is probably, I think I hold it as my, I'll have to double check, but it's in my top 5 altcoin positions. That's for sure. All right. So that's probably a good take on macro. It's always good to understand what's happening macro before diving into the other side of the market. But we'll have a look at meme coins, guys, because that's why a lot of us are here. And that's because if you do have the time, you have the liquidity, you can afford to probably be more risk on, right? And you're looking for those quicker gains, which meme coins definitely have given you. They've given a lot of liquidity this cycle, a lot of consistent volume, and a lot of consistent returns. So always pays to take a look at a few on-chain statistics. So right now, like I mean, and I did I said this in the group, over the weekend, like I do like to take weekends off a little bit just because the volume and the consistency isn't quite there. So let me just try and find this pump fun information because that's always good to look at as well. The main thing too is like the trenches are really good, guys. However, it's still at 1.5%. So the tokens that graduate right is still at 1.5%. So like even here, so September was 1.3. I follow the guy that creates this sheet, Adam, great guy. He has reached out to me personally. He's a good guy. But it's up to 1.5%. I think it was about 500 tokens had graduated this month out of 32 tokens that have been launched. So it is higher than the past 2 months. However, these aren't great stats. So if you're in the trenches, you want to be so aggressive, okay? So always be aware of that. I think we did catch that Shoggoth. Oh no, we got the Brug. But essentially, like you can find the odd token in the trenches, but guys, be extremely aggressive with your invalidation and your profits because the percentages just aren't in you. Like last 24 hours. So no, sorry, it was the last 24 hours that I saw. Like that's even like you do quick math on that, guys. 25K and only 365 are graduating. Like you can still make money if you're in between that 4 to 20K and then rotate it before it gets that 60K mark. But this is pretty low, right? And then Nigma made a really good point a couple of weeks ago. This is only the ones that graduate, and how many actually run to 500K or how many of them actually get to 1 million? It would literally be like it would be under 0.5%, guys. Like, so be very aware of the trenches. This is why I spend a lot more time in the swing trade department. However, obviously I'm home now. Once I get a place to live, I will obviously have more time to spend more time in the trenches and we can talk about it and trade there live, those types of things. But guys, always be careful because like you are gambling, like you're gambling because the percentages just aren't with you. So for me, as a trader, you want to have the probability in your court. If the probability is not in your court, then you should fade a certain way to trade. So yeah, keep an eye on this, guys. We are seeing Pump Fund do really well with revenue. So always keeps a good eye on how many are being created, those types of things. You want to see this trend continuing up. Otherwise that trend is over. That's why I spend more time in the swing trades, guys, because it's actually trading. It's not gambling. There is a place for the trenches. It's just obviously extremely risky. All right. So we have a look here. This is that I created this list a couple of weeks ago. I could probably remove, I'm probably never going to trade when again, so I could probably remove it, things like that. But if we do take a look at the 24-hour performance, let's have a look. So Cook, shout out to Shred and the team. They're cooking, guys, up to 8 mil again. That's so good to see. LSD, not sure what that one is. Haven't looked at that for a while. How many breaking out? Manu is breaking out. So we'll have a look at a few of these guys just to see where we currently are. Even on the 5 minutes, we're seeing Mona. This one I wasn't too keen on, but I mean, it's pumping as well. So yeah, keep an eye on this. But I mean, like we are seeing some like Dog with Hat at 2.7. Bonk's kind of gone nowhere and it hasn't had volume at all. So for me, I haven't been that keen. I mean, it has picked up a bit more volume more recently and has more transactions. But again, I prefer to hold with than Bonk personally. Popcat up to 1.36. So that's good to see. So yeah, let's just have a quick look at some of the base tokens. So Brett is still continuing up. Nothing too much happening there. KeyCat, yeah, not much. This again, I haven't had time to look at base because there's just not enough consistent returns or volume there for me. Let's have a look here. So Pepe's up to 4.5 bill, guys. That's a sender. Mog up to Mog's, dude. I'm so glad we packed our bags on Mog at 300 mil. We're nearly up 3x, guys. Look at that. The 3x of Mog in the space of less than 2 months. Let's go. SPX, yeah. Look. God damn, I didn't actually pull the trigger yesterday. I was too busy with my jet lag and moving and those types of things, trying to find all my stuff. But like this was down at 550 mil. So, and Bitcoin also pumped overnight. They got their listing on Bybit. So Apu's up to 350 as well. Like these are solid holds moving forward, guys. Yeah, Trump. I am still holding a little bit of Trump in spot, but yeah, unfortunately we had to close our long on MEXC. They removed Trump, maybe because it was being too manipulated and they realized they were going to lose a lot of money if Trump got president. So yeah, very interesting there. Now Sui, there was only 3 that I had on this list at the moment, but Sui is starting to move up a little bit. I could add FUD and I could add Blub there, but I did cut them more recently just due to weakness. And there's nothing wrong with that. The volume is way down, obviously, compared to Solana. And yeah, look at that. It's only 640K volume on chain. I think, let me just check that because I just want to make sure that's the whole chain. No. Yeah, 24-hour volume and 100 mil. Okay. No, so yeah, it's still doing good. Solana volume, $2.4 billion. Oh my God. That is insane. So yeah, guys, okay, we're hitting this is the time where if you can spend some time trading meme coins and spending more time just everywhere, really, then you can really lock in, okay? So again, something I want to just say to you all, okay, look at this, okay? Like if something runs up from literally 0 to 530 million in the space of a week, fade it every time of the week, okay? There's no way I'm touching anything like this. The AI meta has never been one that I've been a fan on. In meme coins specifically, okay, whereas like Tau, like BitTenenza, and a few others like Fetch, AGIX, I think is another one. Yeah, it's in the Spot Calls channel. I do have exposure to some AI tokens in Spot, but they're actually utility. These ones here are just obviously, what do you call them? AI coming out and saying certain things and whatnot. So this isn't actually created by the AI. This is created by someone. And the AI just referred to it. So always be aware of this. But yeah, anything that goes up like this, Moondeg like this, okay, Goat like this, there's been plenty of times where something goes up really high. Don't chase it, guys. What's the other one? Non, I think it was. Let's have a look. Same again. This one has gone down a lot. So this is what I mean. Never top blast, guys. Like this is what I do. I try to teach you guys to like, and you guys have been really good, which is good. But like, yeah, we broke. So we bounced at support, bounced above support, broke support, bang. This is going back down. So yeah, I mean, keep an eye on it. Like where I would, like I've always said, guys, where I would like to get into some of these AI plays would be maybe at this fib. So if I do see strength here, maybe we'll look at it. But there's nothing about something like this that, if I compare this right to my conviction in something like Mog, okay? Mog has a diehard community. It's a diehard meme coin. It means so much more than just Mog the meme coin. You can Mog people in the comments section. You can Mog people at the gym, okay? All those types of things. Giga, right? Giga is a community where you want to be a better man, okay? People, like the engagement is really high. People want to be a better man. They're shilling this token everywhere, okay? It's just not the same as some of these AI plays, right? So that's, you got to understand the narrative and the fundamentals behind why certain meme coins definitely do pump. So I suppose I can do any requests in the chat too. So if you do have any questions, guys, please reach out. But really quickly, we'll just look at our top position. So unfortunately, the dip obviously on some of these tokens has kind of already moved up. But I still have the same conviction, right? The same tokens that we've been looking at for a while are the ones that I'm very convicted in. So Giga, WIF, Moga, these are all on the spreadsheet, which is in that Meme Coins help channel. But yeah, like all of these are the ones that I still have very high conviction in and that I'm holding. The one that I probably haven't looked at for a while is Cat. So I will have a look at Simon's Cat on BNB because that was one that I mean, look, we are up a little bit. We're not up a lot, but we are up a little bit. So I'm holding that on on spot, but yeah, we are up a little bit just to have some exposure over there on BSC. But I mean, we'll wait and see to keep an eye on that. So that's probably the only one that I'm not fully convinced on. But outside that, these are all long-term holds, guys. And we nailed that SPX accumulation. We nailed the PopCat accumulation because we were late to the party on those two. But these other ones are rallying, okay? So if we do take a look at some of the lower cap ones, so Mumu, it's back up to 160 mil. So that's good to see. This is a no-brainer, guys. Off to the races as well. If we look at Ponky, is another one that's a little bit lower in market cap. It's finally starting to play catch up. These guys dominate Instagram and social media. So this is a no-brainer for this one to probably reach 1 billion. But yeah, this is a nice breakout here. I mean, that actually should probably be about there. So this is good to see. It's continuing up. What are some of the other ones? So Fog is another one that we picked up in the 60 mil region. So that's up over 3x. So we are seeing a nice across the board breakout, and you know why? That's because macro's breaking out, and Bitcoin's likely in an hour going to maybe close and create a new high, which is pretty crazy, and a breakout of that range that we have been in for over 6 months. So outside that, guys, I didn't have too much else to look at. Right now on trades like this, there's no real plays on the trades we're convicted in. How I then go about it, and I suppose I can segue into that. Where I then go, guys, is I look at, I go to my watch list here. I need to remove some of these, and then I also need to add some more. But I come here and I look for ones that probably haven't pumped yet. Okay, so something like Biscuits probably this is dead. So I need to, I haven't looked at this for a couple of weeks. Pog, again, we rotated out of that. Mewing is down. Okay, so yeah, I could probably remove a lot of these low caps. These are all going to zero very soon. So even Maro is kind of lagging, but I mean, it is still breaking up. So you're happy to hold that in spot. Brainlet was another one here that hasn't performed as well. This one is heavily manipulated. This is why I haven't traded it. Yeah, sure, you could have got a 2x there, but there's so many market makers and shit in this one. I'm not touching this one. So I could probably remove some of those. So yeah, the way I then go to trade, guys, is I come to this page here. I then either go trending by any of the different time frames, up to you. But let's go to 5 minutes. Okay. You then can find new tokens. So rather than being in the trenches on BullX or on Photon, where you then are running the risk that the percentage of graduations only at 1.5, I like to come to something like Radium or Dex Screener, where teams actually generate liquidity initially and drop a token straight away, because that already gives me more substance than someone who's just creating a meme coin on Pumped Off Fund, right? So this is another area. So I come here, I just look at the age of tokens. Okay, you can actually click new pairs as well. New pairs, go to newest, okay, and then up the top you get more options. Okay, just be aware that obviously they are on certain platforms. But yeah, come here, you can have a look. Again, these can rug, so always do your Sol scanner, your other checks, or your bubble maps. Things like this take a while to get on hold to scan, so you do have to be more patient on those types of plays. But this is how I find some newer caps in the liquidity market. And I mean, if you look at this one that was released a minute ago, it's got 30K volume. So what I look for, 30K volume's good, 106 makers, which is good. But if we do take a look at it, it is rallying very hard. I mean, it's only been out for a minute, so I'll go to the second chart. But if if you catch this, here, what I mean, 70K to 115, that's a 2x on something like this. And if you do catch a particular one that is more viral on Twitter or has good potential, then you can actually find yourself getting nice and early into something like this. But if we do have a look at Sol Scanner, there we go, and we punch that in, let's just see what it says. So yeah, so 0% is burnt. So this is what I mean. You still have to do your due diligence. Okay, obviously it's a little bit more risky compared to trenches, because the LP does get burnt automatically once it goes to graduation. But yeah, keep an eye on this. The dev hasn't sniped too much of this supply, so that's good. The top holders is a little bit high. So that's what I do. At 0% burnt, so that's a red flag. I wouldn't trade this token, even though it's going to move up. Again, if they had Twitter, I could do a little bit more investigation. If they had a Telegram, which they haven't connected to Dex Screener, that's probably another couple of red flags, even though that has moved up quite aggressively. So you can gamble on stuff like this if you want to, guys, in the news section. But for me, I prefer to find actual conviction trades on certain things. So come to new pairs, last 24 hours. Again, you can even make it last 5 minutes, last hour, last 6 hour if you want, and do that. The other way I like to trade, okay, where I find way more confidence with the way that I like to trade is I come to just Solana on the side on Dex Screener, guys, and I come across here and I literally just go through the top volume tokens. So if we come to the first one, okay, these are all the top volume tokens. So essentially they're the ones that are at the top. Now, Dex Screener unfortunately has changed a lot, right? They now have, you can pay to be the top tokens, the red ones like this. So do your due diligence, go through all of the plays, be aware that they might be running volume bots, those types of things, and look for plays like that. So yeah, something like this, like that is manipulated if I've ever seen it. So, okay, I see a chart like that, I fade it, I go to the next one. So I use the panel up the top. Okay, this one looks a little bit better. Okay, so then I use my fibs. So I go from the low all the way to the high. Okay, this one, obviously, look at that, bang, bounce exactly off at 0.786. And this is a swing trade that you can take on a high volume token because like that's a 60% move. Like you running 5 sol on that, that's 3 sol, that's $500 bang in the space of like 20 minutes, right? So there's nowhere else you can make $500 in 20 minutes consistently, guys. So this is what I mean. So something like this is where I would have looked to trade, even look, again, like we'll keep an eye on this one too. But so once I look at that, okay, the price action on this is one that I like to trade. It does have decent volume. It's obviously trending at the top. Okay, I haven't seen this meme, but it looks like it's an AI variation of something. So I then go to the Twitter to check out whether it has engagement. Okay, whether it has particular people that I know that are in this group. So yeah, they paid for boost 11 hours ago. Has good engagement, 8K, 6K, 8K again. Yeah, so 4K. Yeah, so I mean, it's got good volume and good engagement. Again, I come into the member channels, have a look. Do I know any of these people? No, I don't know any of these people. Okay, so then I go, okay, interesting. Moderators. Okay, I don't know that guy either. Come back, I just then check the Telegram. So I come over here, I then jump into the Telegram to see how many people are in there. It says 227 subscribers, so that's not too bad. It's better than having only single digits. So that's, again, it shows me that there are people talking about it. So I go, okay, now last check is what I do is I come to Sol Scanner. I chuck it in here. The other one I do like to do is actually go to BullX Bubble Maps. Now, the big difference between Bubble Maps, the official website, and BullX's Bubble Maps is that BullX has the bubble map initially, right? So if we come to BullX and we have a look, so Dev has bought and sold. If we do look at the bubble maps here, and this is what I'm doing. This is how I find some of these degen trades that have like started to create a little community that are moving up quite aggressively. I then check the wallets here. So we are seeing that someone owns 4%, someone owns 3.5%. 2%. So it's not too bad, but there are a couple heavy holders. We do have one cluster over here that only owns 1.9%. So that's not too bad, but yeah, I like to look there. I then like to come and look at the top holders as well on BullX. So I am using BullX. I still trade predominantly on Pepe Boost just because I am still out and about. Come and have a look here. We don't have too many insiders. So one insider owns 10 mil. Another insider owns a little bit of the supply. So otherwise, that's not too bad. That's a healthy distribution. You're seeing 1,800 holders in this one. So there's enough people talking about it. We come back to Sol Scanner. It's 100% burnt, which is good. They have paid for ads. They have paid for boosts. They have paid to put on decks. We look, there is 5% sniped. So that's something to be aware of. They have launched previous tokens, as you can see here. There was none airdrop, so that's good to see. Their best was 2.4 million. So based on what I've just seen there, guys, if I had caught this before it had got here, I would likely set a limit order here, or I would manually trade this dip down to the 786. And based on what I've seen is I likely would say, as long as, again, what I do like to take it one step further, if they're not talking about it broadly on Twitter, and it's only a community, I like to then take it and apply it like this. So I use the search tab. I paste the contract, the name in there. I then check some of the top tweets, okay, and seeing what the engagement like is on that. So Soul Buzz, don't know who you are, only 500 views on that 5 hours ago. This one's at 200 views. Scroll a bit further, 500 views. So not a lot of views, but there's a lot of different traders talking about it. I then go to latest as well. This is why Twitter is so useful, guys. Come here, have a look. This guy's talking about it. We come down here. Yeah, there's a few people talking about it. I'd have to dive in deeper into what it actually means, but But yeah, like this is what I like to do. I check all of the security and the safety of a token. I then check the socials of the token. I then come back and I check the chart again. And then I'll look to maybe get into a trade like this. So this is one, as you all would have known, this is a far better risk to reward. So what I mean by risk to reward is if you can catch either this, so your stop loss is below probably either, it depends how you like to trade. If you want to be safe, your stop loss is literally below the 786, okay? And one step further that you can take it is look for previous lows. So we bounced off it here. We bounced off it here. We did go below it there. So liquidity, I would put it a little bit lower. So for it to set a new low would mean a break of structure completely, and it would be bearish. So for it to set a new low, would have to create a low below that wick over here at 3 a.m. this morning. So for me, that would mean that I would set it at about 132K as my stop loss, and then I would set literally any of these targets above. And look at the ratio, guys, if you catch the 0.786. This is why so many people don't make it, okay? They don't have a plan. And look at this, that's a 5.75. So in other words, if I hit my TP, so my TP is 0.5 profit level, if I move it even down to the 0.618, it's still a 3.37 risk to reward trade. So in other words, if I lose the trade by hitting my stop loss, I only lose a very small percentage of the trade that I'm taking. However, if I hit the top of my TP, which I mean, this trade literally has done already, then you're making 3.3x compared to your loss on this particular trade. So yeah, this is why I love to trade like this, guys. It's been consistent. It's made me, the group, a lot of money for a year now in meme coins. So don't fade a simple trading strategy like this because so many people on the timeline literally do. But that's essentially how I then look for trades. And then if I like something like this, I'll keep the chart open. I'll throw it over to my other screen if I have one. And then I'll look for either a high or low. So if I didn't catch this, okay, if I didn't catch this particular move here, what I would like to see is that it creates either an equal low or a higher low. So at 205K, where I'd like to see it, I want to see volume sort of increase here if it did break out. And if it does break out, so let me remove these lines. If it does break out here, so say I catch a higher low here at about 250K, 240K, and then I trade it, okay, and it doesn't quite get to the 0.5, and I mean, like, I might need to move this up. So say we get in here. So say we get in at that wick there. I probably set my stop loss a little bit lower below the blocks here of the candles. And see, it's still a 2.8 risk to reward on just a swing trade from that level there at 245K up to 380K if it gets there. Now, if it breaks out like this white line shows you here, however, volume continues down or it continues in red formations, I will rotate out of this very quickly in this zone. However, if we see green spikes coming in like this, displacing previous volume candles, okay, what you will see is that this likely continues and maybe does something like this and maybe it looks to break out a lot higher. So, and I mean, that's why it's important to check the socials and the strength of the meme to see what this actually means. So if I do a quick Google, because if I don't know what it means, I just like to Google it. So it's a Greek free-to-air channel. It's what I just Googled it. So it's it's alpha. The name of the first modern, so that's alpha in Greek. Oh, dude, that's kind of epic. I don't mind that. So yeah, that's what I mean. So this is where I would then ping you guys. I ping you, obviously, if I found something on the on the 0.786 with high volume, or obviously if I find a high low here and I want to really aggressively swing trade. That's what I mean. Sometimes it's so hard for me to say, hey guys, like I'm taking profit. So have a profit taking strategy. Use the fibs, okay, the breakout fibs. Always take initials out at 2x. Okay, these are just simple ways that you can always make sure that you're locking in profit consistently in these meme coins. So yeah, keep an eye on something like this. This could be a little bit of a runner actually, if it does pick up a bit of steam. But we'll have to see on what's happening with the volume. But lastly, what I want to say is trading like this way, where you go to the highest volume tokens at the moment, is such simple alpha because volume just means you can trust a breakout at least initially, and you can trust the breakout if it continues with volume. If you're trading some of those older caps that have way less volume, okay, it takes a lot longer for them to break out or to bounce off trends like this. This being newer, this having the second highest volume, this having paid decks, etc., means that it has a lot more like narrative, it has a lot more focus, it has a lot more liquidity and volume on it right now. So it's easier to trade something like this. So that's why I spend time here rather than looking in the trenches, because it's just like, this is where I much rather trade. Like, look at this, guys. Like, I mean, like I can't prove this anymore, but like you could literally make, so from this wick down to the 786 up to there, Okay, you can make an 80% return in 25 minutes. Okay, so if you're a bigger holder, you have 10 sol. Okay, you have 20 sol. That's like so using 10 sol, it's 8 sol, 8 times 160. I don't even know. I can't do the math now. It's 165 Solanas. That's $1,300 guys. $1,300 in the space of 20 minutes. Where else can you earn that in outside crypto and meme coins? So I hope that just gives you a bit of insight into how I like to trade in a few different ways, right? Now you obviously can go to the trenches on BullX, and it's just like I said earlier in the show, guys. It's just way less consistent, right? Like it's just like it's at 1.5% that these are migrating. So a different strategy, like if you don't want to ape into some of these tokens, unless you catch a really good trend. So say you follow a few big accounts that tweet a particular word, or a particular trend breaks out and you are here in the trenches and you manage to find the OG one, okay, or the one that has a good holder distribution, or the one that's been spoken about by some of the calls, then that can be a really good trade. However, come over to this site and don't fade just looking at some of these ones that have graduated, okay? But a lot of the time what I've found, and this is clear, like look at this, guys, like yeah, even within the percentages of it was 1.5% over the past 6 months have been graduating. But look at that, like these literally still go to zero, 16K, 6K, 9K. This one has run, Slop has done well. Rug, a little bit higher. Rug, again, a little bit higher. Key, dumped, okay? Bandana, however you want to say that, Banda, dumped, okay? So this is what I mean. Look at McGads or whatever that is, 4K. So this is what I mean. Like it's just the much better play is going to Dex Screener directly and finding new tokens or finding trade setups like this. So I hope I mean, I've touched on a lot today. I touched on macro analysis. I touched on where I think the bull market's going. I'm very bullish now. Volume is starting to increase. We're seeing returns across altcoins. We're seeing returns across meme coins. This is the time to seriously lock in and go to town on some of these trades. So I touched on that. I touched on the recap of some of the top meme coins that we're looking at. Very happy just accumulating those and spot buying those, and pretty much buying dips into any of those ones on the spreadsheet. And then I touched on how I like to trade different meme coin strategies during times like this, where it's liquid, there's a lot of interest. The attention economy is really good. So I'm watching this low right now. Those types of things. So there's different strategies. Find what works for you. I'm always like, once I have settled, I'm going on a few inspections today and tomorrow in Brizzy. So I'm driving down there. It's about a 2-hour drive. So once I am settled, guys, we are locking in every single day and trying to find and make some life-changing money. So I hope that gets you insight into, macro analysis, a bit of a market update across meme coins, those types of things. So I'll stay in the chat for a little bit longer. If you had any questions, feel free to unmute or just type them in the chat. I'll just quickly have a look over on the side. So Rick just asked the moon deck. So let me have a look at that chart. This is one that I am happy to kind of fade, right? Excuse me. If we pull that up. So the biggest thing, right, between something like this and something like MOG or Giga or SPX or Bitcoin or FWOG is like this isn't a consistent narrative. This was one hippo that went viral and then literally is going to be forgotten in a couple weeks time. And I literally tweeted this up here. So right now, I mean, you could potentially look for a trade here on it. It is kind of putting in a double bottom. The risk to reward isn't too bad here, I suppose. What we could do is actually bring up RSI to see if there is, I wonder if it has CCI on here. No, I don't think it does. Actually, you know what? I can pull this up on TradingView, I think. Let's go TradingView. Excuse me. Because it should be listed on a few exchanges. Yeah, so we'll go to this one here. Yeah, it doesn't have its history, which is a bit annoying. But, I mean, if we go down to the hourly, set it to auto, and then put CCI on, we can start to see if there is some divergences happening. So, yeah, there was a divergence there. So, in other words, price has gone higher and RSI has also gone higher, so that's good. I could potentially, Rick, look for a long on this. It could be a good play if we go back to that other chart that we're just on. It could be a good play, actually, in terms of, yes, I want to leave a risk to reward long. So I just don't know if it's going to be consistent enough, right? Like I said, like people underestimate the fundamental side of meme coins. And this one just fundamentally, like, it's a viral hippo that will be forgotten very soon, but could break out from here. It's set a double O. The risk to reward probably is good here. So if you take a long, you put your stop loss below these wicks under the 8.6 and we trade that. That's the 3. Yeah, Rick, I'll send through a leverage trade on this very shortly. You know what? Let's we could probably look to do it right now live, actually. So let me just do that now. Okay, so coming to Blowfin, guys, Moondeg. Let's set this. So again, it doesn't have the history of it, but I assume that wick is aligned. Let me just get out of some of my tabs because there are quite a few open. Okay, so what we want is below that previous wick. Okay, so this is on the daily chart. So this doesn't have a wick as low, but anyways, what we're looking for is, again, this is what you have to do if you're looking to long. You have to work it out in price instead. So the first target for me, I mean, the first target could even be the 786 for a 20% move. Like, that's pretty juicy, but is a 78% move, right? So if we come back and I play a 78% move, I then also like to use fibs, but so I just want to work out my TP. So 78 from current price action is at that previous high there, so I kind of don't mind that. So 0.15. So I'm allocating 1% to this trade. TP is going to be at 0.15. Let's go 8. And stop loss is going to be below this wick here at 0.0. What cross am I on 7? I could probably be a little bit more aggressive. 0.0705. I think that's going to get rid of it. So yeah, okay, we're going to leverage trade this all together right now. Let me just have a look. I might see if I can do an isolated trade on this particular. Always do isolated if you don't know what you're doing, guys. Yeah, we'll go isolated. We'll go 5. Should have enough room. Not quite for 5. So I'm in profit for other positions. No, I will go cross and I'll go 5. Yep, so it's kept at 0.1. All right, and it's on market buy, so that's going to buy it straight away. So yep, okay, I'll send that through very shortly. But this is a very aggressive swing trade. If you wanted to, you could probably set your first TP here at this level here. So if we take a look at price action to that first TP at about 18%, so the next TP could probably be about 18%, so about there. So about 0.106, you could probably say. So I'll throw that in the chat very shortly. Yeah, but good spot on that, Rick. That was a nice spot on Moondeg, mate. So we'll take that. Yeah, so I'll just put it. Entry is right now at 0.089 to 0.09. Stop loss was what, guys? We have to go back to the chart. Stop loss is at 0.705. 0.0705, and then TP was 0.108, I think, from memory, wasn't it? We just looked at. Yep. Oh no, 106. So 1065. The next one that we put up was 0.158. I was putting in the chat 158, and then the next one that I would take is probably I then would come and have a look at the fibs. So that's the second fib. The next fib is at 188 million. So that's basically a 2x from where we currently are. So 113% move. So again, this is the annoying thing. Like, you can change it to price. It's just I've got it on on market cap on Dex Screener. So it is a bit annoying. But if you then work it out, this is what I have to do every time. So 0.18. Let's go 0.189 as the next TP level. So 0.189. Okay. So I'll just throw it in the chat, long Moondeg, and I'm using that. So there, I've put it in the chat, and then let me just ping everybody. Okay. Cool, done. All right, amazing. Let's go back. No, great find, Rick. I mean, it has bottom there, mate. It is a double bottom there. It looks like it could be bouncing off its fibs as well. GM Aussie, thanks for tuning in, legend. So I mean, like, yeah, that kind of looks like a nice sort of swing trade, right? Like, that could be a really nice bottom here if it does look to break out. I'll do a little tweet later to see what the engagement's still like as well. But I like that. I like that, Rick. Good find, mate. Good find. All right, let's have a look. Next question. Do you still take profits on your long-term calls? Mo, great question, Mo. No, not on, oh, sorry. That's a lie. SPX, yes, I took a little bit off. APU, yes. SPX was nearly a 2x from that trade. I was a little bit worried that if we did reject from where we currently are in price action on the macro, that SPX could go all the way back down towards lower fibs. However, there was a lot of strength there. So I did take half off the table at that 850 market cap, and we got in at 460, so just shy of a 2x. And I still have I still have a bit of liquidity on MEXC that I'm waiting to add to spot bag memecoins, which I forgot to buy yesterday, but that's all right. APU, I took profit because that went up like 5x. So like definitely take profit if something moves up multiple X's, particularly a memecoin that's worth like 300, 400 million. The other ones, Giga, I rotated out a little bit. Michi, I rotated a very small percentage out. Just back into Solana. But outside that, no, I'm like MOG particularly, Pepe and WIF. No, I hold those three particularly. I hold a lot more in, and I'm very happy holding them to very high. Like as soon as Bitcoin starts to get pretty crazy and those types of things, that's probably when I look to rotate out of my long-term calls. So no, and same as like Solana and Radium and Jupiter and Bitcoin itself. Like no, I'm holding those in my spot portfolio on a separate wallet, and we'll talk about that on Wednesday. It's very important that you understand how to manage a portfolio, right? And I have I think it's maybe down to 50% now. 50% of my net worth in crypto is just in a spot portfolio with Bitcoin, Radium, Solana, AVAX, a couple of Render, and a couple like Jupe, a few other meme coins. Like there is a bit of spot meme coins. So MOG, Pepe, and WIF are the three. Maybe actually Ponky might be in there as well. So no, I'm holding those ones higher. Chaz, what do you do with your TPs if you're sleeping on your bag and can't watch the chart? Great question. So depends on the particular trade. So if you're in a meme coin that's really low cap and you're worried, just get out of it. Trust me, there's not like I've done it before. Plenty of people in the group have done it before. It just means you can sleep easy and you'd wake up and you're not worried about whether it's pumped to billions or whether it's gone to zero. So if it's a low cap meme coin and it's a really aggressive swing trade, something like that, or you're in the trenches, definitely just stay liquid, okay, when you're sleeping. The next part of that would be if it's a little bit higher market cap. So say it's in that sort of 1 mil to 10 mil range, probably take some profits before you go to bed. Set your stop loss to break even if you're at a profit. Always just do that. That way, if it does obviously dump during the night or something does happen like macro or an event happens worldwide that does mean the market's dumped, then that way you can actually make sure that you have your protection and your stop loss there, and your invalidation is actually at break even, or it's at a good level that you're happy to lose that percentage in the trade. And then lastly, if it's a leverage trade, which we are in quite a few of them at the moment, then no, I'm holding those much higher, guys. So for me, I'm holding that a lot higher. So for me, I'm not too worried about those trades because they're on lower leverage. So yeah, that's how I like to trade, at least a little bit. But I hope that answers your question. If anyone else has any questions, feel free to unmute or obviously type it in the chat. Kados created a copy trade on Pepe Boost, and it says buy success and immediately says your transaction might have timed out and hasn't actually copy traded. Any thoughts? Yeah, you probably need to run it. You probably need to run it with a little bit more bribery, priority fee, and increase your slippage. Likely, it's depending on what the wallet that you follow. If that wallet has a lot of transactions, then likely they are trading high volume tokens, which means that the slippage needs to be higher, that there could be MEV problems as well being botted. So I'd dive into that and make sure your bribery and your priority fee is a bit higher and be more generous. And that's the other thing you got to think about with copy trading. And that's why we haven't dived into it too much just yet. Maybe in time, once I'm settled in Brizzy, we could do that. But yeah, copy trading is difficult because people who know they're being copy traded, or these wallets that you can find now and copy trade them, like it is risky because they are aware of it. So they'll pump and dump you into volume all day long, and they'll come out profit, and you won't come out of profit because of fees and because of these things such as priority fees and priority and bribery, and slippage. Like if they're pumping and dumping copy traders, then likely you will lose consistently doing a copy trade. So always be aware of that and actually dive in and do some analysis on what's happening in there and see whether it's worth it. All right. I have recorded this, guys. So I will drop that on YouTube later today. But yeah, if you have any questions, guys, feel free to shoot. Outside that, there's probably a good recap for now. I think we've covered quite a lot over the past hour, which is good. Just coming back to that alpha trade, I didn't get a chance because I was answering those questions. But as I said, we created equal bottoms, guys. So I want to see now. I want to see volume. This is what I mean. This is what I was talking about earlier. So we've now created double bottoms. We have retested the 0.8786. We have got decent green volume here. If we do break out, so we break up here, okay, I want to see volume increase. So I want to see green come in here and start to displace previous cycle. That shows me that the trend is going to change, because right now we're still very much in a downtrend of volume. So you want to see it at least test the top up a bit, if not set some new sort of volume coming in. So yeah, and I mean, like, look at this swing trade, even like that swing trade there is still a 40% move, and ideally you're going to swing trade the breakout from the double bottom up to that 0.5 fib, 80%, and if it obviously does go from there to the next fib, then it's a 2.3x move. So yeah, be aware of that. But yeah, keep an eye on that one. All right, just waiting if there's any more questions. If not, guys, we might wrap there. So thanks for tuning in. Do appreciate it. Do try and jump in on Wednesday. Bring questions around, excuse me, portfolio management, because that is key, guys. It's so important that you understand. And different people have different risk tolerances, but also different people have different wallet sizes. So if you are a bigger trader, you are a whale, then your strategies are going to be way different to someone who's only trading with 5 grand or 10 grand total or 20 grand. Okay, so we'll talk about that on Wednesday, guys. So hopefully I can find a place to live in the next couple of days, but maybe not. We'll wait and see. No, you're welcome, Rick. No troubles, mate. Slizzard, you're welcome, mate. Thanks for tuning in.